a few Vedic elements in Buddhism. The central Buddhist notion of nothingness or emptiness we just encountered in the meditation technique that he learned from Alara Kalama. The idea of neither X nor non-X. This is a formula that you regularly find in Buddhism. Like in the meditation technique he learned, namely neither perception nor non-perception. So you find that back all the way in the Rig Veda, the Nasadya Sukta, very much studied for its philosophical profundity, starts with na asat na sat. You see, so it is said that the first being was not nor was. So this thought form of neither X nor non-X is Rig Vedic. And so key Buddhist notions, we are not surprised to find them earlier, in the Vedic hymns, in the Upanishads, in the Shanti Parva, the most philosophical chapter of the Mahabharata. We may guess that they existed in greater Magadha sources that we do not have in writing. At any rate, they existed before. He took them over. So you have, for example, already in the early Rig Veda, the image evoked by Dirgha Tamas of a bird eating from the berries in a tree and a bird sitting next to him and only watching. You have, for example, something that many these days believe is a Buddhist notion, what they call in modern terms the holographic paradigm. Okay, that is already present. The holographic paradigm means you have a net that where all the knots contain a mirror that mirrors the whole net. You could, there is a modern application of this is the genetic system. You see, every cell of your body contains the genetic code that codes for your entire body. You see, that says about, what hair color you're going to have and what blood group and how much you are prone to high blood pressure or to heart disease and so on. So everything, you see, that concerns different parts of your body is nevertheless present in every cell of your body, right? That's a modern, very important application of an idea that was already present, not just in Buddhism, but already in the Atharva Veda, where it is called Indra Jala, the net of Indra. Reincarnation is present in the Buddha. Now here you see something may be said for this whole idea of greater Magadha. It is certainly not central in the Vedas, but realistically speaking, between the Vedas and the Buddha, there are centuries. So by that time, the idea of reincarnation may have gained currency. At any rate, for him, it was totally obvious. And so after his enlightenment, he says that now I can see all my past lives. And he applies this systematically. Whenever he talks about the past, he adds, you see, when this thing happened in this country and so on, I was, and then he describes his own incarnation from back then. So I've rarely heard Hindus speak about their past incarnations. And so the idea of reincarnation is something that they pay lip service to, but that seems to play no role in their lives. Well, for Buddha it was different. You see, for him it was really absolutely central. And so it becomes very normal for Buddhists to apply it to explain things. Like, for example, there is a friend of the Buddha, General Bandhula. So he and his wife are learners. You see, they absorb Buddhist ideas. Then this Bandhula and his two sons, who are also in the army, are accused of committing high treason, and they are sentenced to death. And after they've died, his widow says to her daughters-in-law, who have also been widowed, yes, you and I, we know that they were not guilty, but they have been punished because in a past life they did commit this sin. Well, maybe so. Maybe that's true. Though a skeptic would say, well, that way you can, justify anything. It's a cheap way of justifying injustice. It was not new to the Buddha. And so the fact that he absorbed it so thoroughly, or that he lived it so thoroughly, may indicate that it was already common currency in the culture he was born into. The basic problem of suffering is also mentioned a few times, though here I guess you can't use the mention of it by Patanjali, because Patanjali, unlike what many Hindu polemicists think, is deemed to be younger than the Buddha, though he uses all kinds of old material. But so it is quite possible that this is an element that he took over from Buddhism. Not impossible, and there's nothing against it also. The poisonous nature of desire, that has also already been thematized in the Upanishads. And sometimes you don't know which was first. Like, for example, in Patanjali you find the Brahma Viharas, the divine states of mind. And so they are fellow joy, fellow suffering, or what is more commonly known as compassion, friendliness, solidarity, and also indifference. You see, indifference is what you're supposed to feel when somebody you care about does something bad. You can't encourage him. You can't just boss him about, no, this is wrong. So sometimes you just have to let it happen and try not to feel affected by it. So, indifference. Anyway, so these are the divine states of mind. They're mentioned in the Buddhist classics, they're mentioned by Patanjali. Who was first, we don't strictly know. If the Buddha was first, then his choice of words does not support the idea that he was anti-Brahminical. He could have chosen any term. Since he was the creator, he had the freedom to choose any term. Well, he chose that one. And so this whole idea of anti-Brahminism being present already in the Buddha's teaching, that is a modern invention. In fact, Brahma plays a role quite regularly in his teachings. It's also said that it is because of Brahma that after his nirvana he decided to go teaching rather than keep his discovery to himself.